Good evening. Welcome to Bedtime Stories with me, Pastor Michelle. Today's Wednesday, December 9th, and our woman of the hour, the bold woman in Black history, is Mamie Phipps Clark, and she was a social psychologist and a counselor. So let's hear about Mamie. So despite growing up during the Great Depression and living in the segregated South, Mamie had a happy childhood, comforted by family and school. She graduated at 16 and earned a scholarship to Howard University. She began with a major in math and a minor in physics. She eventually switched to psychology, the same major as Kenneth Clark, her future husband and research partner. She had never dreamed that segregation could be challenged, but in the summer of 1938, she worked for civil rights activist and NAACP lawyer Charles Houston. She saw famous lawyers gear up to tackle the monster that was segregation, and she realized that with the combined efforts of determined people, they could make real change. The work Mamie did in college was the beginning of a breakthrough research that became known as the doll tests. The study showed an overwhelming preference for white dolls in Black children ages 3 to 7. The children, half of whom attended segregated schools, were presented 4 dolls, 2 brown with black hair and 2 white with yellow hair, and were given instructions like, "Give me the doll that is a nice doll. Give me the doll that looks bad, and give me the doll that looks like you." Mamie and Kenneth concluded that the students from segregated schools had developed a sense of inferiority and self-hatred, and that integration was helpful to both Black and white children in achieving a healthy racial self-identification and improving race relations. This became key evidence in the landmark Supreme Court case Brown versus Board of Education, which in 1954 ruled racial segregation unconstitutional in American public schools. Her research altered the course of history for every child in America. She followed her passion, and it led her to make a difference in the world. Wow, that's fascinating. I never knew that. That's pretty cool. So let's hear our Disney story of the night. And so it comes from Cinderella, and it's called The Perfect Gifts. The holidays had always been Cinderella's favorite time of year. She loved the cheer and the good feeling of the season. Every year she cooked delicious holiday treats and crafted small decorations, and she had always managed to set aside time to make some small presents for her mouse friends. Now that she lived in a castle, Cinderella found that she enjoyed the holidays even more. This year she wanted to give especially wonderful gifts to her mouse friends. First, Cinderella went to the royal kitchen. "My mouse friends like cheese. Could you make some cheese pudding?" she asked the cook. The cook assured her that the cheese pudding would be the best in the world. I gotta say, that sounds really good. Okay, sorry. Then Cinderella went to the royal tailor. She told him the mice's favorite colors, and he helped her pick out rich, beautiful fabrics. "I will make mouse outfits, that likes of which have never been seen," he said, rubbing his hands together. Finally, she went to the royal carpenter. "My mouse friends don't have any nice furniture. Can you help me?" The carpenter said he would gladly make tiny beds and chairs and tables for the mice. The next day, as Cinderella and Prince Charming were having tea, the cook, the carpenter, and the tailor arrived to deliver the presents for Cinderella's mouse friends. She thanked them and sent them each on their way with a kind word. The pudding was a beautiful color, the clothes were artfully sewn, and the tiny furniture was grand and elegant, but none of it seemed quite right for her mouse friends. "I don't understand. The cook and the tailor and the carpenter are the best in all the land, so why don't I like what they made?" "Well," Prince Charming said, "you know your mouse friends better than anyone else. Maybe you should make their presents." "You know, that's a wonderful idea." Cinderella was delighted. "I'm going to make my friends the nicest gifts they have ever received." So I hope that she gave them the stuff that everyone else worked hard to make for her and her gifts. All right, so my friends, remember that Christmas is not just about giving physical gifts, the kind that you can wrap in a box and put a bow on top. Christmas is also about giving the gift of yourself and just being there for those you love. So my friends, God bless you all. Have a wonderful night.